According to the Washington Free Beacon, Gal Luft, the co-director of the Washington-based Institute for the Analysis of Global Security, says he provided information about Hunter Biden, his father Joe Biden, and his uncle Jim Biden to the Justice Department in March 2019. Now, Luft served as an advisor to CEFC China Energy. The group, which donated at least $350,000 to Luft's think tank, paid Hunter Biden at least $6 million in 2017 to procure energy investment deals in the United States. Now, investigators have focused heavily on Hunter Biden's deals with CEFC China Energy. Luft's threat to name names comes after his arrest in Cyprus on February 16th on charges that he illegally sold weapons to Libya and China. Now, Luft says that the United States is seeking his extradition as part of a politically motivated payback over his exposure of the Biden family.
Luft's attorney, Robert Hinnock, told the Washington Free Beacon that Luft is a whistleblower, and he claims that prosecutors decided against pursuing Luft's information and are instead targeting him with trumped up and false charges. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on in this story. So Luft and Hunter Biden both worked for this CEFC, or were advisors to the CEFC
Which
group.
is basically a front for the Chinese Communist Party, is what is alleged.
And because they were in close proximity, it is possible that Luft knows things about Hunter Biden and his dealings, and he's claiming that he knows things about Hunter Biden and his dealings.
Right. And he's claiming he told the government things about the dealings
they've declined to prosecute. They've declined to look into it. And that they're now arresting him on arms sales charges, which he is
very
totally
serious.
Denying.
Arms charges to Libya and China? That sounds very serious.
He's saying that is trumped up because they don't like what he's saying about Joe Biden. And he's also appealing to Benjamin Netanyahu to save him from the United States of America.
Yeah. So a lot of that is sketchy, I should just say. That does not... him being arrested on those charges doesn't immediately make me go, oh, that's BS. They're just trying to stick him with something.
And that's a big charge to try to stick someone with.
Yes.
I don't know if if someone decided to take me down tomorrow, I don't know that they could convincingly make a case that I was an arms dealer. Mm-hmm. They could maybe say some other things about me.
You were a villain from an Iron Man movie or something.
There's feeling a little bit of a there to make that kind of a big claim. But I completely appreciate it's also true that certainly the government has framed people for all sorts of things.
All things could be. It could be that he's an arms dealer and a just utterly corrupt, reprehensible. I mean, given his, even if you're not believing the arms dealing part of it, which again I think there's no reason to necessarily disbelieve it, he was involved in this business venture involving the Chinese energy company with Hunter Biden. So he's not like an unimpeachable person. Now it might be reasonable for the government ideally to have more interest in or to cut some kind of deal and have more interest in Hunter Biden's involvement, and if it has something to do with Joe Biden, and I can see why them declining to pursue that would make people go, oh, well, is whatever agency is signing off on that covering for the Biden family. So I definitely understand that part of it. But he certainly has every incentive now to say that, yes, I'm a whistleblower. I'm not an arms dealer.
Yeah, look, I mean, part of what's so...
But he could be both.
Awkward. He definitely could be both. Or he could just be an arms dealer without that much to say about Hunter Biden.
Right. Or Hunter Biden could be, and again, Hunter Biden could be... This is very bad. What he was is sketchy, and he was being paid basically so that he could influence his dad without there being any evidence that they succeeded in that or they did exert any.
Part of what's so uncomfortable here is that to the extent that you want to impeach the credibility of this alleged arms dealer, or the fact that he was being paid all of this money, or his organization was being paid all of this money to facilitate these energy deals in a way that feels a little, untoward. Hunter Biden is right there with him for all of it. And Hunter Biden's continued proximity to all of these sketchy
arms dealers, alleged arms dealers.
Right. It's not like Hunter Biden can sit here and say, I never met this man. I don't run in these circles. This is not my world. I mean, obviously this is this world, and these things keep coming up in a way that has very bad optics for the president if it were the case that any of this stuff were actually ever covered. The thing is, it's not. And at a certain point, it becomes, the story of the inattention to Hunter Biden manifests as its own story. And we saw that with the Hunter Biden tapes, which so far there's been no revelation. There's no smoking gun that actually links it to any untoward behavior on Joe Biden's behalf. But the suppression of that was its own story. And it seems like this, it gives energy.
That's a great
stuff
point.
like
So I
this.
Googled the name, this Gal Luft, that's his name. I Googled it. I'm looking for news coverage, and it's being covered by the Washington Free Beacon, which did a pretty good story here. It's being covered by Newsmax, and I'm not seeing, and then like a bunch of Israeli news outlets because of the connection to the Israeli government. It's not being, the Jerusalem Post, it's not being covered anywhere else. And then they're not covering it, I don't think necessarily with the Hunter Biden angle, which from the Israeli standpoint makes sense. Where's the mainstream American coverage of this? How long do they sit on their hands about this kind of stuff and then get embarrassed later?
Yeah. Hunter Biden does not make Joe Biden's life easy. I'll just say that.
No, he does not.
And also, I gotta say, the kind of the optics of a national of one of our most trusted allies, as Hakeem Jeffries puts it, Israel, the sixth borough of New York, being involved in an arms deal with China also turns upside down all of our foreign policy narratives about who the enemies are and what our allegiances are. There's nothing convenient about the story to the mainstream.
Well, the mainstream media was correctly all over the Trump children, Jared Kushner, for the influence they had, the influence Kushner had with Saudi Arabia, and I think it was right to cover all of that because a lot of it really was. Again, sketchy. I'm using the word sketchy a lot in this segment. But look, Hunter, I mean, I'm not trying to draw an equivalency, but we haven't even begun to understand. We haven't gotten very far into understanding how much Hunter Biden attempted to do the same thing, maybe much less successfully. Maybe he doesn't seem like he knows how to handle these situations expertly.
In fact, I just
but the connections to China are very concerning given everything else.
Yeah, in fact, I just had a guest on my show earlier this week, a professor, Christian Parenti from CUNY, and he was saying that the difference between the Trump children and Hunter Biden is that the Trump children never wrote anything down, and they were just cleaner and smarter about it. And here we have Hunter Biden, and we're talking about all of this mess, and the interest in having the conservative interest in having an inquiry into the FBI and any bias in their dealings, which is obviously implicated in this story as well. And he was saying that that's legitimate and that's something that people across the political spectrum should be interested in, because we certainly don't want it to be the case that they are selectively looking into information because of political reasons. If there's a there, then we should know about it. Of course, that can be weaponized in the opposite direction as well. So I don't know, man. This one's a rough one. This is one of those everybody's sketchy stories.
Fascinating. Well, one day we'll dig into your arms dealer past, Briahna. That does it for us today. What a great show today.
Great show,
Fantastic
Robby.
topics, I thought. Tomorrow on Rising, molecular biologist Dr. Alina Chan will join us to give her take on the Department of Energy stance on the lab leak theory. You really won't want to miss that. I am so looking forward to it.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any of our content. And for those of you who prefer to listen, while you're on the move, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
See you later.
Bye-bye.